Let's go. Yeah, make it look easy. Hey, stand up guy on 10 toes. Big body pull up in a Range Rover. I can change the whole game when I say so. I pull up, shut it down, yeah, they know. Running this game ain't a thing for me. I never switched up, no change in me. The only thing changing this season, you go against me, then you know that you tweaking, okay? Cause baby, I'm him, I be on 10. Two-stepping in the party, I do not dance. Watch how I move, make it look easy. Counting up wins, that's part of the plan. Blackmail taking up my haters a CC. That can't fail, all my victories will repeat. I'm knee deep, need a dub, best that you seek me. I'm too sick, yeah, I know I make it look easy. Easy, yeah. Tell them don't try to play me. Yeah, I'm drippy on the daily. They can never count me out. They can never count me out. I know. They can never count me out. They can never count me out. I know. I make it look easy. Make it look easy. I know. Make it look easy. Make it look easy. I know. Make it look easy. Too smooth, I make it look easy. I know. Make it look easy. Make it look. I know. Love, shoot my shot, better play up. Make it look easy, that's a layup. Bad man. Why they wanna be like the side man? Two ways, swallow your pride. All of my guys, call them they slide. They will oblige. Call yeah, baby. With me now, look, all of them starting to riot. Whoa, huh. When I'm in your city, it's magic. When I'm all in my bag, it gets tragic. When I see what I want, gotta.
Alright guys, it's BC back with yet another video. After a long wait, I'm back. And we're putting together a little sled build for you guys. A lot of you guys have asked questions about what's on the sled. That sled looks rowdy. So we're gonna take you through all of it. But first, if you would, subscribe, like, share. It means the world to me. And it helps me basically make more videos. So please do that if you haven't already. And let's rewind back to early December. And then by the end of the video, we'll have it built. And at the end, we'll walk you through every single thing we put on this sled. So hang around, and you guys can learn a lot from this video just in the fact of learning what we put on the sled and why we put it on the sled. So maybe something you don't like about your sled, we will go over in this video and share how to fix that and what I did to fix it and make it more rowdy. So let's jump right in. Rewind. Well, we've gone on our first ride already, and now it is officially time to build this sucker. So we've brought it to AJ's shop, and he's gonna work his magic. He's the mechanical one, so we're gonna do some mods to it, and then we'll go over kind of what we did later in this video. AJ's working his magic here. He's put together the skid over there, as you can see, and then we're track swapping. So this is a 55. This is what came on the sled, and we're now putting the 46, this one, on it, trying to make this thing a little more rowdy. So AJ's got all this stuff pulled off, and skids out, tracks out. And if you want to come over here, I'll show you the skid. And then later in this video, once everything's done, we'll give you a full build list, kind of everything we did. But we have parts that still aren't here. So this is the rear skid exchange. So we're running bomber rails, Ice Age bombers. We're running the 8-inch Hellfire wheels, which is recommended on when you go to an Ice Age rail. And then as of now, we're putting Fox Barant QS3s on it, and that might change. We have a couple of goodies still coming in, but for now, while the skid's out, AJ was kind enough to throw those on there. So that's kind of where we're at so far. And then we still have some goodies to throw on that aren't here yet. So we'll continue to do that, and then stick around, and later in this video we'll give you a full walk around of the sled, full build, and then we'll do a review on it once I ride it and see if the 146 with Big Boost is a great idea or a terrible idea. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, so it took a long time to build this thing just because we added and added and added, and then we had to wait on some stuff. Some of it was backward and stuff like that. But it is finally done, and we've rode it. You know, me, AJ, all the guys, Tony, Brad, Marcus, we've all rode it. We kind of have our opinions on it, and it is very, very rowdy, almost unrideable, but that's what we were going for in the beginning. So I'm going to start at the front of the snowmobile, and I'm just going to work my way back and basically tell you everything that we've done to it. And then I'm also going to add kind of why we did what we did. And again, the purpose of this snowmobile is to really be like that sled that's good for filming, good for just like if you want to just do stupid stuff on the snow, this is the perfect sled because it is a ton of power and on a short track. So they do not make this from the factory. Polaris at this point does not make a 146 boost. So this is all aftermarket, all custom stuff that we've done. So let's just dive right into it basically. So starting at the front, these are Polaris gripper skis right now. And we might be changing those. Those might be, and some of the stuff might change. But I really like the gripper skis right now. We switched them out to white for the time being just to like tie the look in together, and it looks pretty sick. So white skis, the wrap is all ECD. Been working with them. We'll do another video on the other build that we did, and it's all ECD stuff. It's held up super good. I actually had this wrap on last year. It looks badass. So I just love ECD. Shout out to ECD. So starting in the front, Backwoods front bumper. This is something that was essential for protection, and honestly, it adds to the look too. So we went with Backwoods. Shout out to Backwoods. We have a lot of Backwoods goodies on this sled that I'll go over here in a second. Backwoods, we've, on all of our sleds now, we've tested them. We ride pretty hard, and they've held up really, really well. Trees, re-entries, everything like that, they hold up really well. So all their stuff has held up really well so far. We really can't say enough good things about Backwoods. Moving up the sled, we got a Skinz HOOD. So the Skinz HOOD, the reason we did that is A, it looks badass, being honest, and two, it does shed a ton of weight. The stock Polaris hood is really heavy. It keeps in a lot of heat up by the headlight area. And so we just went with the Skinz HOOD to shed a ton of weight and relatively cheaply to do so. And again, it looks badass. So the next thing, let me go to engine before I go on to venting. The engine is obviously an 850 boost, factory boost, but VOHK has done some serious stuff to this thing. It is pumping like 290, 295-ish horsepower, I think, is the number. Intercooled, it's insane. So the engine is all VOHK built. It's just stupid how much power this thing has. It's almost scary at times. So with that, they recommended venting. I would have done venting anyway. The VOHK logo looks so badass, I think, and it fits the wrap great. So, and then obviously the benefits are it lets hot air out, because with this engine, or with this tune basically, you are pumping so much heat out of this thing. Like when you stop, you can feel how much heat it has in it, and partly that is the 146. You're always on the throttle, so in the deep snow at least. So we went with the VOHK venting. I think it adds to the look of the sled. It looks badass, and just repping the guys over there. It's ran flawlessly on all that stuff. So it's VOHK vented, clutched, tuned. I'm trying to think what else, it'll probably come to my mind later. But the VOHK clutching gets everything dialed for your elevation. So this thing really is like, runs absolutely perfect. Okay, coming back. Under the spindle, we have Durapro Ski Rubbers. With the stock rubbers, they just blow, honestly. They're not very good. So when you come down on a re-entry, the ski torques back, your ski rubber comes out or rips, and then you're riding around all day with a soggy ski, so to speak. So Durapro, those are what I always run, and really have had good luck with them. Going up, this is a Backwoods Spindle. That's their, I think their crazy plum color, which looks sick. And I think it adds an inch of height, which even makes this thing more rowdy. And it's stronger, it looks better, it's just badass. So then going up, right now we actually started with Fox shocks on this thing, but now we're running Ohlins, a little Swedish gold on there. We're kind of going back and forth, have Fox on the other setup. The Ohlins seems to be good when it comes to hard hitting stuff, but riding technical stuff, I don't really like it as much, honestly. But we'll kind of mess around with it and see. There's so many adjustments on the Ohlins, on the Fox, you kind of have to take some time to get used to it. So that's what we're doing with these. They are a beefy shock, so it really is kind of fun to, like, you know, come down on the trail hard, and it really saturates it way better than a stock shock. We did a BoonDocker, which is this thing right here. This piece with frog skin over it. It's a BoonDocker makes it. It's like their, I don't even know, it's some kind of intake. It's worked well. It's durable. I've hit it on a tree. It's done pretty well, and it just lets the sled breathe better, which with pumping this much power you really need. And this thing has an intercooler, so it just helps, really. And then going to handlebars, I'm pretty picky on handlebars. I've finally got a set of bars that I really enjoy riding with. The actual bar is an RSI Slim Jim bar, and then it's the normal, it's not the narrow one, just a normal one. And then these are RSI grips, Skinz throttle block, and then right now, if you can see right here, we have a 3D Logik brake lever, which is a really tiny lever, and it's purple to match the sled, but I really like it. I like having that short of a brake lever. Your brake lever's not hitting your other fingers when you're pulling it in. Then RSI bar pad, Durapro tether, like I've been talking about for years. I really like the Durapro tether when it comes to falling off the sled all the time. We had to wire these grips on, so you just take grip wire. We glued them and then grip wired them, and they're still, with this much power, they're still spinning. So we're gonna have to, I mean, just a little bit, but it's really hard to hold on to this thing. And so when the grip warmers get warm, they spin just a tiny bit. So we're gonna kind of go into that and fix that pretty soon. Next thing, these are sled treads, basically knee pads. And the reason why I do that is added comfort for the rider. And not only that, but wearing a hard knee pad or a knee brace, you tend to actually crack the plastic on the Snowmobile, which is expensive and it's just a pain. So you can just get these, and it adds riding down the trail comfort. If you slam into the console, if you're jumping or whatever, looks good, and it just keeps the sled protected. These, okay, before I talk about that, the exhaust I'm running is the BoonDocker tunnel dump exhaust. It's fairly quiet, but it sounds really, really good, and it eliminates all powder bog. I've never had powder bog on any of the sleds with the BoonDocker tunnel dump, and that was just a recommendation by VOHK, and it just flat out works, honestly. So BoonDocker tunnel dump, and sounds badass, looks badass, comes out right here in the tunnel, so it comes out by your foot. And so this feeds into the track instead of coming out like right here. And the benefit of that is you don't get that plug when you're side hilling, because that track's spinning and pushing snow. While we're down here, these are badass. They look badass, and they're actually really functional. These are Backwoods BMP subframe. So these just add a bunch of strength. They look, again, badass. And the angle of this tow hook, if you look at it, it actually doesn't come out like the stock one. And so you can use them as tow hooks when it comes to, you know, turning uphill or whatever. It doesn't have that big swooping design that comes out there that, you know, people don't like those tow hooks, because if you fall off, then your toe can get caught in it, and it's bad news bears from there. You break an ankle or get drug or whatever. So that is, I didn't really think about that when I got those, but really like those. They're functional, but they're also, in my opinion, way safer than a stock tow hook. Okay, going a little bit back. Oh yeah, this is just cool. Got a little Blackbird keychain, more to be announced. And so going back a little farther, this is a SECO seat cover custom. We just tied the purple in with all the other purple stuff. Number 24, that's my lucky number. And this thing, honestly, for the price, it's just badass, straight up. It looks really good. It changes the whole look of the sled. I don't even know how. It's not that big. But it changes the look, and it gives you so much better. Like, I hate the Polaris seat cover where you're sliding all day. It's got like ice in it, or ice on it, and you're just sliding. With this, you have a ton of grip, and it just keeps you planted on the sled better. And it even has way better grip down by the legs. So even if you're standing up, you're getting better grip with this seat cover than you are a stock seat cover. And while we're on the topics of gripping the sled, these down here, I don't know if you can see them on the camera, they're right along the side of the tunnel here. And those are game changers. That brand is actually called Stomp Grips. There's Rocks makes them. You can get them from a bunch of different people, but those just stick on, they don't rivet on. And the benefits of those are anytime you go upside down, like if you're doing a big re-entry or you're doing a big jump, even with wheelies and everyday riding, they help you stay planted on the sled and your legs aren't slipping everywhere. So I really, really, really like those. All right, guys, so now let's go into the track. As you guys saw before in the video, AJ was kind enough to help me with the track swap. So I'm just gonna get kind of into, this is really what makes the sled what it is, along with the intercooled VOHK tune. So this sled started out as a 155 Khaos Boost from the factory. It's factory, you know, turbo and everything. So we wanted to make something stupid, and it is in fact stupid. So we went the 146 route. So to begin, we got it's a Polaris factory 146 track with a 2.6 inch lug, which is done well, honestly. And we paired that up with Ice Age bomber rails, which are tougher, and they're just one of the better rails on the market, or the best on the market, and they're super strong. They look good. And so we paired that up with, if you can see back here, the Ice Age purple Hellfire wheel, and that kind of tied all the purple together. It's not a full purple sled, but all the accents are purple. So that is an inch bigger than stock, which is what Ice Age actually recommends you go to when you're running bomber rails, or any of their rails for that matter. And then as you can see down in there, we also have right there some Swedish gold, which is some Ohlins suspension in the back. Again, we ran Fox on this when we first built it. It's been built for a couple months, but we just got everything tied down and kind of got time to do the video. So those are Ohlins back shocks. And then in the back, this, I'm calling it Franken sled, honestly. We kind of had some problems riveting so we cut, or AJ cut, as you saw in the video, a couple inches off and then put this cap back on here. But before we got the Backwoods bumper, I wasn't patient, and we riveted on the stock bumper as best we could, and I folded the tunnel like 3 times until we got the Backwoods. And then we got the Backwoods on there. So obviously this is Backwoods from here all the way up to here. It protects the tunnel incredibly well. And now we have no more, you know, custom tunnels where your tunnel looks like a spoiler in the back. So Backwoods, all their stuff we really, really like. The VOHK stuff, takes a sled that has a lot of power and turns it to something that's on a 146 unrideable, to be honest. And just all the other stuff that kind of makes me feel more comfortable on the sled. It's paired up to be in the ultimate build for me and what I'm trying to do with the sled. And so obviously this isn't for everybody, and it's a hard sled to ride, but the things you can do on the sled are just stupid. Like, you can re-entry flat ground easy. So that's kind of, and one more thing I'll talk about with the VOHK tune, we're on the intercooled avgas tune. So we're running 100% aviation fuel in this thing, 100 LL from an airport. And so you pair all these things up together and it turns into just an insane experience on the snow. And the only thing that we're kind of in the mid stages of is like, do we like the suspension? Do we like the Fox better? We're not really sure. But with this sled, it's more of like a Skinz sled, not a technical riding sled. So I kind of like having the Ohlins on there, honestly, and they look cool. So we'll get back to you guys if you want. We'll do a full review on this and kind of the nuances of having a 146 Big Boost, because Polaris is probably going to drop a 146 Boost. So if you guys want to know more about it, let us know in the comments. Subscribe. Keep engaging. We love you. Follow us at Cook Bros. And until next time, let her eat.